Welcome to Daily. I'm your host. Today, I am going to talk a little bit about the Tarn, which is a river in the Occitanie region of France. Those mosquitoes and stuff that I was talking the other night is due to my current proximity to it. And as I look, especially considering the heat wave and everything that has recently passed here, you see people playing in it and swimming in it and everything like that. And one of the things that I found to be very interesting about it is how slow it was. Like, it does not seem to have a lot of flow. And after doing a little bit of research, which I'll read some Wikipedia on it, it's not a long article. It is not a long article, but that is because it is not really connected to anything anymore. It used to be, and used to be navigable. The town of Albi, France, had a granary, and it was kind of a major deal just because it used to be a way to get goods into Toulouse, which was more of a hub, which is kind of cool. Now, as someone who is a fan of water and things that float on water, I find it kind of interesting how, when it comes down to it, we still depend on boat transportation. It's changed, but and everything old is new again, but with more layers of abstraction. Trade and any type of long distance trade, for the most part, used to be done, via the water. You're dealing with drag in the water, not so much the weight, and it's just more efficient that way. And then you think, oh, well, now we have airplanes and we have trains and we have trucks. So that's not such a big deal until you realize that it's just changed. There is so much trade and so many goods that go from one side of the world to the other, and it's always on these big, giant ships. The scale of these things is hard to wrap your head around. I've been next to them in a boat, and it is insane. These things are like a mile long and stuff. And it's a little bit crazy. It also, I had recently seen a video on YouTube about the GPS system and everything. And one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting about it is that, so the GPS satellites, your device can find its relative position in relation to those GPS satellites. But then, how do the satellites know where they are? And that is a ground station. But then that ground station actually uses quasars to determine where it is, that then transmits to the satellites where they are. So we're also using celestial navigation. Even when you're on your phone using Google Maps or whatever to navigate, or AllTrails, or any number of those, you're using celestial navigation, just with more steps. Which, I don't know, kind of, it's an interesting thought to look at, the type of stuff that seems like technologically advanced, but the kind of, fundamental knowledge that goes into it. So let's read some stuff from the Wikipedia article on the Tarn. It starts at around 5,000 feet, or 1,500 meters, on Mount Lozère, I believe. Cuts through Moissac, and then it joins the Garonne. It is length. It's about 240 miles long. It's not as connected anymore. It used to be a lot more connected. Passes through Albi, Gaillac. My ability to pronounce French words is bad. All right. And let's see. I know in Albi they have some hydroelectric stuff there, which is kind of interesting considering how slow it flows. I did see it turned on. It's not on often enough. I think the water level needs to raise a bit, so it depends on rain further upriver. It was there, and there was some type of fish, there's two of them, that was just kind of swimming around in the outflow of the hydroelectric plant. It's not really a dam, just because I don't think it's that deep. Honestly, I think you can probably walk across it. Nah, probably not. But anyway, those fish were really cool. I just sat there watching them for probably close to 45 minutes of these giant fish that are about 5-6 feet long, just going through the rapid outflow of this hydroelectric plant, which at some point I might want to do something about hydroelectric because it is neat in theory, but it also has some downstream effects that need to be used with caution. And I know like Ecuador has or had 3 hydroelectric dams that ran most of their power, but like 2 of them were in such a bad state of disrepair that a couple of years back there was like crazy rolling power outages just because the demand was too high. The supply could not keep up with it. Another thing that I did not know about the Tarn is it is famous for flooding brutally. And apparently in 1930, in March of 1930, it rose 56 feet in 24 hours. That's 17 meters. It's insane. It kind of goes back to reminding you of how small you are and how much of a system that, we are part of. This doesn't go out to the galaxy. I mean, you could probably go out to the moon, which gravitational pull and everything like that does have stuff to do with tides and the movement of water and the water level and the like. And yeah, just kind of interesting to think that far away, something that happens, the rain, etc. I was also doing some, it was a old book written in like 1952 about Afghanistan, written by James A. Michener. It's a fictional tale, but he does pretty good with historically accurate things. And apparently with this one, he actually did spend a lot of time in Afghanistan and really enjoyed it. And one of the things that they were talking about is the German bridges that were there. The Germans had come in and said, "Oh, we're going to build a bridge," and they're like, "Well, do you know about our rivers?" And they're more like creeks. They're 2 feet across. You can jump over them and stuff. And the German architect of these bridges were like, "I've done all the major bridges in Europe, never had anything happen." And they're like, "Well, sometimes, those rivers can get pretty crazy." And apparently they go from 2 feet wide to 2 miles wide, pushing boulders the size of houses downriver. And it's all based on the snowfall in the mountains very far away. That's obvious when you say it out loud, but I don't know, getting your head wrapped around it and meditating on that and just thinking about it I like it. It's enjoyable. So anyway, that was kind of my ramble for today. I did not know about the flooding. It was crazy. And yeah, so there's some information about the Tarn. I'll find some pictures and stuff. I might even do a thumbnail for this episode. Anyway, you might hear the church bells, but you'll definitely hear a gong here in a second. Hopefully 2. I'm still not sure why that second gong doesn't play. MP3 plays, but I'm not sure. All right. Let's breathe. Let's be. Put words to your gratitude. Spread those words online and in person.